Hello fellow humans, and welcome to another episode of improvising my YouTube video sets because I live on a building site. My name is Poppy, and your Christmas just got a whole lot more chaotic because I'm about to share my latest train wreck of a crafting project with you. And yes, you read the title correctly, I tried to make a Catalan poop log. Now, if you don't already know, the Caga Tió is a wooden log that lies under a blanket while kids hit it with a stick and sing a special Christmas song in order to coax sweet treats out of its rear end.
Caga Tió, caga toro, te vayas do peñón, non cagues arengades que son más asaladas. Caga toro, que son mes bons. Caga Tió, caga toro, si no donaré un cop de bastón.
This incredibly unique ritual is easily one of my favourite global Christmas traditions, because I feel like it manages to balance the wacky and the festive quite nicely, and in my opinion at least, it perfectly encapsulates the fun spirit of Christmas. But before I explain the tradition any further, let's take a look at how my creative process began. So, examining Mr. Logman closely, we can establish there are a few clear defining features that all Caga Tiós share, namely a log body, 2 front legs, a charming smiley face which includes 2 eyes, a mouth, and a disgusting nose. I promise you we shall not be including any noses. It's like when people draw emoticons with noses. Why would you do such a thing, you insane person? And a little red hat. Now, seeing as everything else is attached to the torso, I obviously wanted to start with that. So I needed a log. I packed up my camera, I went all the way to my local garden centre, and I scoured it for quite a while. And amazingly, I could not find a single piece of wood. In fact, the closest thing I came to any sort of loggage was an array of mushroom sculptures made out of wood. In the end, while walking our dog, we came across some branches and twigs and discarded bits in the woods, so I decided to collect some of those instead. However, I didn't want to waste all the Christmassy footage I got from the garden centre, so here's a little montage of that expedition. And there he is, one thick log ready to be chopped. I wanted to cut it smaller because all proper Caga Tiós are about 30 centimeters long, and for you weird imperial folk, that's a foot. I needed a foot-long log, like an off-brand Subway sandwich with a little more crunch. So I measured up those 30 centimeters and began to saw. But boy oh boy, I had no idea what I'd set myself up for. Maybe it was due to all the moisture in the log, or maybe my saw was less trusty and more rusty, but I sewed for over an hour and barely made a dent in the thing. My dad then offered to help, but he had the same problems. So moral of this story, kids, sometimes it's okay to give up. Let's move on to the less tragic section, shall we? Now, because I'm still surrounded by boxes like I was in my Halloween video, I assembled some more cardboard, but this time in an array of textures. Then I also gathered some tape and adhesive labels to use as a white backdrop because my cardboard would be too dark. And lastly, my pencil case, because colour. Starting with the eyes, I cut the flattest cardboard into some semi-elliptical mound boys like so. I did this twice because for most log mammals, eyes come in pairs. Speaking of pairs, did you know that only 2 of the 17 regions in Spain celebrate Christmas with these exact logs? Well, it's true. Just Aragon and Catalunya, way up there in the northeast. That's why the song is in Catalan rather than Castellano, or, as most people know it, Standard Spanish. These little Tios de Nadal have never travelled very far, let alone the UK. But maybe don't quote me on that. And yes, I did just call them Tios de Nadal, as in Christmas logs. No poo involved. You can also just call them plain old logs or trunks, but why would you choose something boring like that? We all know what they're there to do. Anyway, here I am, scratching away a pupil because I hadn't realised how deceased all my pens were. I tried my best to fill them out, but they were looking pretty janky, so I did what any productive human would do and left them on the side to deal with later. Then moved on to the mouth. I whipped out some more of the flat cardboard and sketched a super smiley outline, then cut it all up. Stupidly, I hadn't realised the reverse, non-scribbly side was actually covered in stickers, so I decided I would have to colour it in with something thicker than my pathetic black pen. Ah yes, of course, expired nail polish. What else? This is why hoarding can be good sometimes. Wow, I'm really spewing out the absolute worst life advice today, aren't I? It's time to shut me up with more fun facts! Even though kids will gather round to beat sweets out of the log on Christmas Day, or Eve in some families, they do actually have to take good care of their tío until then. Just like how Santa expects kids to be nice, Spanish children must care for their logs in the lead up to Christmas. That's why you see the trunks wearing blankets or even being fed. They need to stay warm and cozy if you expect them to poo anything tasty out. And just like how British kids can expect coal if they're naughty, Catalan and Aragonese kids are threatened with sardines. If I'm entirely honest though, it sounds like a pretty sweet deal either way. I'd take the sardines too. So, there's the face. I thought the eyes looked a little big, so I chopped them down. And then I decided to attempt some legs. I had no idea how I'd be attaching them, let alone how some bits of paper would hold up an actual piece of tree, but I had this rolly cardboard as well as a corrugated type and just thought I'd try, I guess. I made little skinny tubes and then cut up the ribbed cardboard and wrapped them in thicker tubes. How riveting. Oh yeah, I also didn't have any glue, so this tape situation happened. I had a final look at all the bits of face and realised I could fix the eyes with some more nail polish. So yeah, basically I'm a genius. And once all those bits were finished, it was time to attach them to the 2 sandwich length log. Unfortunately, it had been rained on again and was even soggier than when I first found it. Too big, too wet, but I persevered anyway, and to literally no one's surprise, the tape wouldn't stick. So I tried it again. Oh, that's looking promising. Would be a shame if someone... I took a break to reflect and then decided to try again. Wow. Okay, new plan. Choke on some different tape. And... nope. Honestly, this is a Troom level performance right here. Okay, when all else fails, use your superior knowledge of physics. Amazing. Inspired. Beautiful. But it was still missing something. Ah, perfect. I then snapped this branch into the optimal hitting shape. It was also soggy and thus nowhere near as satisfying as you'd hope, but alas, it was the final step and needed taking. And welcome to my clearly very completed bedroom. Obviously it's brimming with festive cheer, but why don't we just turn that up another notch? Good night, my friend. Boom. I've got my stick. Let's begin. Okay. Caga Tió, caga todo. I'm gonna stop before I butcher this song. As if Hey, I've just given the log a good spanking, so let's give it a few minutes to work its magic, shall we? Wow! Look at that bountiful load! It's a Christmas miracle! Yeah, so that's how that went. I might have briefly gone insane, but hey, I'm back now, and I'm here to wish you all a very happy festive season, whatever you celebrate. And seeing as it's that time of year, why not give me the gift of a thumbs up on this video? Or maybe even subscribe? Either way, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas and goodbye.